Good day, dear partners, associates, and guests. My name is Ludmila Shulga. I am the Chief Technician in charge of production at APL. Welcome to this tremendous event. As you well know, in 2016, the company was able to open its own production facility in one of the European factories, the Sunny Moldavia. That factory has been producing exclusively only branded products of APL, Accumulate SA Caramel, and all-time series of products. Today, I would like to tell you in more detail about a unique product, the Accumulate SA Caramel Drops, its properties, specifics, and technologies, and everything that makes this particular product the only product in the world with unique properties of all the nutrients. Caramel is a truly natural, homogeneous product that consists mostly of carbohydrates components. The specifics of carbohydrates is that they very well transmit all of the nutrients and useful information, nutritional information from one product to the body without inhibiting the absorption of all the useful nutrients by our body, which again get into our body with vegetable and herbal components. Besides, the expiration date of caramel is virtually unlimited, although regulated to be 18 months. But the caramel could be preserved for a long, long time. Only visual properties of caramel would change, but the nutrients and nutritional properties of caramel and its security properties, including microbiological properties, will not deteriorate, even moderately, because the boiling down process makes the caramel substance contain very low level of humidity. So there is no way for bacterial microflora to develop there. Of course, our caramel has good effect on the body. Accumulate SA drops can make good effect on our body, support us during stress, relieve stress, help us with confidence and relaxation. And I will tell you today how exactly we produce our body. The production line of caramel includes several simple stages, 6 simple stages. First of all, boiling down of sugar and molasses, first to caramel syrup, and then in the vacuum evaporator for literally 1 minute at the temperature of 120 degrees. We boil down the caramel mass. Then it's cooled down till 70 degrees, and at that temperature in the caramel mass we extrude the additional ingredients such as lemon acid, flavors, colors, and of course our herbal selection. All of the additional components are entered into the mass at a temperature of about 70 degrees, when the mass has this semi-liquid, semi-solid structure, and all of the components could be easily blended with the mass. After that, we cool it down, and then forming, first of all, this caramel loaf, then the twisted strip of caramel, and then we extrude in a machine separate drops. After that, we cool down the caramel once more, because at the temperature of 40 degrees we cannot sort the caramel, and when it's been cooled down to 25 degrees we can send it to sorting and then packaging to the blisters. This is the entire classical process of caramel production, from sugar and molasses. The structural components and specific properties, of course, is something that we imbue into the product. We add some taste ingredients and, of course, the main functional ingredients. In our case, those are herbs. So, what is the structural basis of the caramel? First and foremost, of course, sugar. We do use sugar, white sugar, made out of white beetroot, through concentration and boil down of beetroot juice. In 1 drop of caramel, there is less than 1 gram of sugar. So 5 drops a day is less than 4 grams of sugar a day. And by the way, according to World Health Organization norms, human beings have to consume 50 grams of sugar a day. Let me highlight, by the way, that this norm includes not only just literally sugar. Doesn't mean that you can eat the 10 spoons of sugar and that would be fine. No, that norm includes means the sugars that we get from different sorts of foods that we eat during a day. The human body cannot operate without sugar. Sorry for that, because the only way to satisfy the need for body is glucose. The need for energy in the body is satisfied by 80% via glucose, which is being fermented in abdomen with ferments. And no sugar replacements could provide us this storage of energy that the body needs to work. WHO has calculated the pyramid of balanced nutrition. The basis in this pyramid, this pyramid is used as the basis of healthy diet anywhere in the world. Look at this pyramid. It's literally a pyramid, but the foundation of this pyramid is carbohydrates. Of course, not sucrose and not sugars. Those are long carbohydrates, and it takes a long time to ferment them, and they provide us with energy for a long time, such as starch, dextrins. Of course, that could be different sorts of wheats, corns, preferably bread, fine grains, and then fruit, you see, another source of carbohydrates, but quick carbohydrates, and they provide to the body all the necessary nutrients as well. Proteins, meat, fish, nuts, and at the top of the pyramid we have the group of products, sugars and fats. Only 5% in the pyramid, but you understand well that without this small cone on the top, our nutrition will not be complete, because only sugar can provide us quick charge of energy. None other sugar-replacing substances can do that. Only sugar can do that. The real white sugar. Other sugar replacements, by the way, are prohibited in different countries, like sugarin or aspartame. Other sugar replacements, which are not recommended specifically for children. Sugar, in this particular case, is the most appropriate product for correct, balanced nutrition. They often ask me, why don't we use, for example, for our caramel, the products like stevia or agave syrup? As a matter of fact, agave syrup, structurally, is very good to be added into coffee, desserts, tea, so that the product tastes more sugary, sweetly. But the energy that the sugar would give us does not go into our body. And besides, agave syrup is completely unusable for industrial technologies of food production, because it doesn't have structural properties of sugar, and it cannot give to the product the necessary physical and chemical properties, so that it can be packed and stored for quite a long time. That's why agave syrup can be used in culinary at home, so for the products that will not be stored for too long time. Another sweetener of our caramel is, of course, starch, which we produce via enzymic hydrolysis from molasses. Of course, there's no one word for molasses. I mean, there are different words that mean molasses. Usually we use the word molasses, and pretty much people know what the word means. But in many situations, the word molasses means, for example, dark molasses or beet molasses. So, of course, it's not contaminating, it's edible, but it's not meant for food products. And besides, if we use dark molasses, we cannot produce colorless caramel. That's physically almost impossible. Molasses consists of glucose, fructose, and maltodextrins. As a matter of fact, that is the syrup of glucose and fructose.
Also, they are a source of glycogen, which is required to form and in order to run various processes of the body. Dextrins, they work as a filter to free up from our bodies from toxins and radionuclides. In our products, we use mostly natural fruit additives. Aromas that we use, they are made out of aromatic substances that were taken from fresh fruits, as well as esterized oils of citruses and mint. The coloring agents, there also are extracts from, say, grape skin, anthocyane, sweet paprika extract, coloring agent, an extract of the roots that give us the yellow color. In our drops, we don't use any synthetic or chemical additives, and we are truly proud of it. So with our absolutely natural composition of our product. And so the main part of our product, it makes them different from all of the rest. This is a functional plant additives. The plants that are created by the notch, they're growing there in nature. They have huge amount of characteristics, and they can be both useful and harmful for the humans. And it's not only a matter of dosing, but in the table we have the category, which is of use of the raw resources that are there to use in certain products and in certain amounts. The largest category, this is unlimited, allowed for unlimited use in cosmetics, medicine and foodstuff. This, everybody knows it, such as curcuma, ginger, ginseng. So those products with which we can see on a daily basis, and it's pretty much everywhere. Then there are groups that are limited for medical aims. They contain psychotropic or poisonous substances in them. So this group of plants, it is forbidden for use in any products except for the medical products on specific indications, such as root, hemlock, or other plants which are not present in our product. The next group is quite a small one, and it does not relate to us, but I will mention it. These are limited for the external use only. Of course, they are present in various cosmetics or in certain dermatological substances, but out of them, some of them can be poisonous, such as the milky juice or natural esterized oil. Not the dissolved ones, but the natural ones that can cause rashes on the skin and even burns, severe burns. The other group of plants, this is limited in dosing. What does it mean? These plants, you can use them as for food intake, but they can cause side effects. They have certain, they are, well, it's impossible to take them with medicines at the same time, so their mode of intake is limited, such as valeria and even the johnswort, which cannot be taken jointly with antibiotics or antidepressants because they react and they harm the body. The herbal additives and the herb mixtures are produced with one of the best companies that does the processing of plants. It's Barrow Herb Company under certain parameters. Only this company is being very specific and very thorough on working with plants. Thus, we can guarantee the safety of the plants and the plant mixtures, and also can guarantee their efficiency. And when working with the plants, we consider all of the agrotechnical parameters of standardization of plants, particularly not only their looks, but also the age of the plant. We select the specific part of the plant which is the most useful for the specific purpose. So out of some plants we use the roots, for some plants we use leaves, out of some plants we use fruits or berries. So soils and conditions where they grow, including the climate, become highly important, and the conditions of their picking. Usually it is done with hand picking in order not to damage the valuable plants. So, consequently, the use of pesticides and fertilizers is limited because norms of law is very strict. And in our herbal mixtures from Bara Herb company, these indicators are below the lowest limits. So consequently, we standardize the methods of drying of plants, residual humidity, how we grind them, and conditions of storage and time of storage. All of the recipes are created individually, and the unique formulation is being selected for each product and prepared for each product, considering the future effects to the human body. The Bara Herb company was developing these recipes with the assistance of computer-aided design of the recipe, so that they're not only standardized under certain indicators and have a stable quality from one batch to the other, but so that they are very effective in providing the synergy and long-lasting effect and have the maximum effect towards the body. In order to reach the maximum effect, we use a unique technology called accumulate assay. This is the technology of activation of all of the active agents contained in the plants. This is an innovation based on the increase of the efficiency of all of the molecules which are there a part of the herbal mixtures. What are the principle and practice of the use of this technology? What brings us to such great effect? There are three bases of it, three pillars. The base of it, of course, it is the herbs, herbal mixtures, well balanced, and the principles of how they affect the human body. Then the process of the technology of biological activation, and then the technology of securing this useful information, this useful nutrition, and preserving them inside the product of all of the useful characteristics inside the drops. We were considering all of the principles of standardization, of course, and we were developing the formulations. We were selecting the assortment of plants based on which of them must be in each of the particular product, and also in regards to their quality. Then we were selecting the modes of drying and grinding separately for each product, because it is impossible to reach the same drying or grinding grade for root or for the leaves. It's either too rough or it's made into absolute powder, which is not suitable. But with a computer-aided design, we were able to calculate how much we should dry each part of the plant and how much we can grind each part of the plant. So the order of mixing was also specifically calculated. It doesn't, so if we have, say, 5 components, we mix them one in the same, in one go. No. This must be a certain principle behind it, so that they add step by step and they form the real working mixture. So all of the mixtures were created based on these principles. That's why they have this very high efficiency. Consequently, what is the useful part of it? The plants were selected in order to strengthen each other and would provide a synergy effect as well as the long-lasting effect. The components add to each other and they increase the force of each other. Consequently, all of the active ingredients are getting open quite rapidly. Inside, there are initial molecules, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, which body can take from the foodstuff, well, general foodstuff, and introduce them into the body. But the active molecules, they do not produce them. Maybe we do not need them in large substances, but they must be there to maintain our processes. And the most important molecules, these are flavonoids, so they work as antioxidants. So they provide the tone of the body, and they leukocytes So the natural carbohydrates, which take part into the human exchange. Then saponines, a very small group of substances. They have the antioxidant effects, plus they support immune system, and they bring down the cholesterol levels. Then the next active molecule, these are coumarins, which have strong antivirus and spasmolytics effects. Alkaloids, which can work as tranquilizers, but they stimulate the brain activity and muscular activity. Also, they have microelements to them, such as ferrum, not only calcium and manganese, but also ferrum, selenium, chrome, and zinc. The body requires it, but in very small batches. But without these microelements, all of the processes that happen inside humans, they will become deficient. Plus, there are fruit acids, apple acid, lemon acid. These are great natural antiseptics and antioxidants. So we have created this mixture, herbal mixture, which is prepared for the active work inside our human bodies. But our work, additional work, to make them in such a stage so that they would start working once they enter our body. That's why we implemented the bioactivation process for the active molecules. So they have certain cellular membrane, all of the molecules, right? And all of the useful substances, they're kind of conservated inside the cell. If we put them in the unprepared state, then it would take a very long time for them to get free inside the body. So our task was to stimulate so that the useful substances, beneficial substances, exit this cell very rapidly. That's why we implemented the bioactivation technology. Inside the activator, we pour in the mixture for each particular product, of course separately, in certain amounts which are required for the specific loads of the mass of the product. It's not a matter of activating them and then storing them like for ages. No, absolutely no. So we will load the required amount into the activator, and in the turbulent flow we create the convection flow. So the spinning forces plus high pressure around 30 to 40 megapascals with very short impulses. But as a result, we damage this surface membrane on the cell, and the cell kind of becomes open so that all of the good substances, they get free very easily and can get rapidly sucked into our body. So our next task was to store it, this pre-activated mixture, so that it is effective inside our caramel drops, and it remains effective. So it is introduced into the amorph caramel mass at the temperature of 70 degrees, where it is mixed very properly, evenly distributed among all of the mass. So each particle of this herbal mixture, and it's kind of getting covered with a very fine, like sugar encasement it gets, and then the caramel goes all of the processes that I mentioned before, and then it chills, and it's getting crystallized. So there's a crystallized encasement, inside of which when there are active molecules of substances. So once this caramel drop, goes into our body, say we put it onto the tongue, so this sugar encasement is dissolved very rapidly, and we're getting these good substances even in our mouth. So many clients note immediate effect from the intake and the prolonged effect, and that depends of course on the herbs that are present in certain products, in certain mixture, because it is clear that in order to increase the immune system and the efficiency. You have to provide a long take of our products because there's like accumulation effects is in place. The product that affects our energy, raises our energy, or strengthens our brain activities. There are plants there, they have a more strong effect right in place, affecting our cells of our bodies. And the last stage that I said, this is so that these good substances sit on a sugar mesh. This sugar crystal mesh, it is not obscuring any processes from the components of the product. Plus, it is a great transport to deliver all of the good molecules to the body where they are needed. This particular unique technology provides the efficiency of our drops. APL drops, they are not pharmaceutical, they are not medical products. This is not a product to cater for all of the diseases, but it has very good properties in fighting particular symptoms, providing energy to our body. We produce the product which is healthy and has a good effect to our products, and it doesn't have any side effects whatsoever. And it is based on those technologies that I have mentioned, which allow us to combine the products in any composition and provide those substances that are required for any human bodies without any side effects. The drops of Accumulators A series, they have a long-lasting, well-balanced effect to the human body, and their characteristics only increase when you intake them for a long time. They can either relax you, or they can, give more power to you and to make something that was deemed to impossible yesterday. They work very accurately without any harm to the health. APL drops, this is a great pleasure and great joy from the great taste and aroma. Only the use and the benefit of our products, any useful products, they have to be tasty. Plus, they give us joy of taking them, thanks to the mixture of all of the characteristics that I have mentioned. Thanks to everyone for the attention, and I wish you further success